Hey guys, Michael from Cobber vs Glass. Now that Mobile World Congress 2015 is over and done with, I want to just talk about the Samsung Galaxy S6 and also the 6 Edge to see if the fact that the removable battery and also the expandable storage being gone is actually that big a deal. So, let's take a look. Okay, so let's get straight into it. The elephant in the room is the Galaxy S6 and also the 6 Edge have taken away two features that are really staples of Samsung. You've got the removable battery and also the expandable storage, both of which are gone from the newer devices for 2015. Starting off with the removable battery. Now there's a couple of different people in terms of mobile device users. You've got someone that churns through a battery really quickly and has to charge their device multiple times a day. You've got someone that's maybe a bit more conservative that gets through a whole day with a little bit of percentage left. You've got the person that only uses their phone for the bare minimum, like calls and texts, and has a load of battery left at the end of the day. And then you've got those people that in my opinion are quite rare, that actually change the battery and have to swap out batteries throughout the day just to get through a full day of usage. Now in the past I've owned phones that have a sealed in battery, like the iPhone 5, and I've also owned phones that have expandable batteries or changeable batteries, like the Samsung Galaxy S3. Now with my S3 I actually done a video of an expandable battery that you can get, but the issue with that is it actually thickens up the phone. Now one thing that I would say is expandable batteries and changeable batteries aren't necessarily that big a deal at the moment. Now the reason why is fast charging, and quick charging is something that Samsung have absolutely nailed with the Samsung Galaxy S6 and also the S6 Edge. Now the great thing about the quick charging is that within 10 minutes you can get 4 hours worth of battery life, which is enough to get you through a night out or a long drive somewhere. So if you do have only 10 minutes, you're in a coffee shop or an airport, you can put your phone on charge and know that you're going to have enough juice for at least 4 hours worth of usage, which is actually quite a lot. Some phones get around 3 to 4 hours worth of screen on time. Now don't get me wrong, getting 4 hours worth of battery isn't going to get you that 4 hours screen on time. It may be an hour and a half to 2 hours in terms of real world usage when you take into account background updates, notifications, and just in general things like screen brightness and screen on time. But just in general, it's definitely a great feature to have that not many phones have. Now some have quick charge mechanics, but they're not necessarily as quick or give you as much power as the S6 or the S6 Edge. And in my personal use, I've never actually bought an extra battery just for me. Like I say, when I had my Samsung Galaxy S3, I bought an extra battery pack just for a video purpose, but I never really used it all that much, as like I say, I added to the bulk of the device. And if I just bought an extra battery, which keeps the slimness of a device, you are still going to have to carry around two batteries, which a lot of people don't necessarily want to do. So in my opinion, Samsung removing the removable battery isn't necessarily that big a problem. Now one thing that people may have a lot of problems with is getting rid of the SD card slot, which the rival of Mobile World Congress, the HTC One M9, actually kept in place. So a typical day's worth of usage in terms of my phone would be calling people, texting people, listening to music, watching YouTube, looking at my emails and things, playing some games here and there, and I don't really need expandable storage. All my music is in the cloud with Google Play, and just in general all of my Google services are up in the cloud anyway, so I don't need to really worry about it taking up space on the device or really on an SD card. Now the one thing where I would say I lose a lot of space is if I install games, but in my opinion that's what a games console is for, or something like a Nexus 7 like I've got, or even a MacBook, or maybe a handheld like a Game Boy, which is pretty old school. So maybe a Game Boy like a 3DS for instance, or a PS Vita. So you know, you've got a lot of different choices in terms of carrying around games. You don't necessarily need to have them all on your phone. Now if you do want to have them on your phone, Samsung is going to be offering the S6 and the S6 Edge up to 128 gigabytes, which obviously is going to cost a lot more than just getting an SD card. But again, my thing with the battery in terms of having to carry around a spare battery kind of holds true with an SD card. If you buy a 16 gig phone and then you buy an SD card for instance, you can use it with that phone, which is definitely great. But what if you then change your phone to one that doesn't have expandable memory, or the form factor of microSD changes to something slightly smaller, which it definitely could do in the future? So you do really have to kind of think about it in terms of, do you actually need expandable storage, or are you going to be like me and just have a lot of things in the cloud and not really have to worry about it all that much. But overall, Samsung have done it for a reason, to get a brand new form factor for the Galaxy S6 and also the Galaxy S6 Edge. Now, I'm a huge fan of the new design, and I will be doing an updated video if I can get my hands on one of the new devices to go over what's new in terms of the design, but I will put some links in the description down below so you guys can actually have a look at some photos and videos of the devices themselves, and you can see that they do look incredibly nice. So Samsung had to make some sacrifices here and there. Now, don't get me wrong, and a lot of people are going to say, but the HTC One M9 has kept expandable storage, which is definitely true. But you've also got to take into consideration that the M9 isn't really that big a change to the M8. The design of the phone itself looks very similar to last year's phone, which isn't necessarily a bad thing because it does look nice, but with Samsung redesigning the actual platform in terms of redesigning the phone itself, changing the materials they use, and just in general making a better looking phone, some sacrifices and some cuts had to be made. But this is just my opinion on a problem, and I want to hear your guys' opinion. If you guys have got any questions or comments about this in terms of removable batteries, expandable storage, or any other features that you like or don't like in smartphones, be sure to leave them in the comment section down below, and let's see if we can get some sort of conversation going in terms of what people do or don't like with smartphones, or what they're willing to pay extra for. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up down below. If you guys want to get some more great content, don't forget to subscribe. I'm Michael from Copper vs Glass with my overall thoughts and opinions on a removable battery and also expandable storage of the new Samsung Galaxy S6 and 6 Edge, and I will catch you guys in the next video.